So now we're going to look at the mean. This is the most common one. This is the most common one. And this is the one where you're going to have more work to do. This is the one where you've got more work to do. Don't mean, share it out. Okay? And that's what we're going to learn to do. Okay. Let's do a little bit of let's work this out. Let's work out the average age of the people in this room. Okay? So, just shout your age out as I go around the table. So we'll start. So come on.
45.
Never.
46.
Never.
Oh,
30.
Never.
42.
I can tell.
Oh.
Only joking.
35.
and then the baby had agreed.
Come on.
35.
Well younger.
People think I'm like 26, 27. I know.
I've added my age as well. So the average age of this class now, of this people in this room, is all those added together. Okay? So we're going to add all those together, which is going to give us 11, 13, 18, 23, 25, 5 down 2 to carry, 8, 11, 14, 18, 21, 21, 29, 295, divided by the amount of people that are in the room, 7. Yeah? 295 divided by 7. I'm not sure what that actually works out. If somebody can just quickly do that.
42.1.
How many?
42.1. And then you're not add a 4 at the end of it.
So the average age in this class is 42 years old. That's the average age, the mean age of these people in this room at this moment in time, which is 42. And if we were to look at these figures, it's kind of in the middle. It's not a bad representation of the average, that is it? It's not a bad representation. Let's just pop them in order. 30, and then we've got a 42, a couple of 35s, a 40, 42, a 45, a 46, and then the old codger at the end, 62. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 people. 1, 2, 3. Look at that. The median is 42. The average is 42.1. It's the best representation of an average, and that shows, like I said before, that the median is also a very, very good representation of the average. Yeah, very good representation of the average. That's how you work it out. It's as easy as that. Or is it? Or is it? So that's what we've just done. We've done the maths class ages, we've done the average age, we've done that. Okay? So here's some world leaders ranked by age, reflecting that time of taking office. So this is when they took office. Okay? What is the mean average of these world leaders? Okay? It needs updating, this obviously, because we've got Nicola Sturgeon in the middle there. She's no longer for Scotland. So I'll read you the ages out, if you can't see them. So we've got Hamza Yousaf, 37 years of age. Jacinda Ardern from New Zealand, she's 37. Zelensky from the Ukraine is 41. Rishi Sunak is 42. Nicola Sturgeon, 44. Vladimir Putin, 47. Jinping from China, 59. Donald, 70. And Joe Biden, 78. Okay, so what's the average age of those world leaders? It obviously needs updating that, but looks a little bit like this. Yeah, these are quite popular. In fact, they're very popular. There's one in the bot favourite.
I don't get this.
Right, so let me just rejig this onto here for you so you can have a look at it and we can work it out. So I'm just going to bring this board at the front here. I'm just going to get my black pen, which is here. So we've got photos here. And then here we've got customers. And we've got 0, 9, 30. We've got 10, 19. We've got 10, 20, 29, 8, 30, 39, we've got 2, and then we've got 40, 49, we've got 0 and 50 to 59, we've also got 0. So the question says, the table shows some information about the number of photographs ordered by customers. This was the day when you used to have them developed, like at Boots and stuff. Yeah? So, what is the average, just the word average, number of photos ordered per customer? So we're going to work the mean out, okay? Now, what's this actually saying to us, this table? It's saying, well, 30 customers came into that shop and they ordered between 0 and 9 pictures. So did them 30 customers order 1 picture, or did they order 8 pictures? We don't know. So what we have to do here, we have to find the midpoint or the median number. And to do that, this is what we do. We add the two numbers together. 0 plus 9 equals 9. We then divide that number by 2, just like we did when we were doing the median, which gives us 4.5. Okay? And we do that for all the photographs. Okay? So the next one is 10 to 19. So we add 10 and 19 together. 10 plus 19 is 29. We divide that by 2, which gives us 14.5. You see what we're doing? We're finding the middle of these figures. The next one is 20 to 29. So we add those together. 20 plus 29, 49. Divide that by 2, 24 and a half, 24.5. We keep going, we keep going. Next one, we've got 30 to 39. We add the two numbers together. 30 plus 39 equals 69. Divide by 2 is 34.5. We don't have to bother with these two because no customers ordered between 40 and 49 and 50 and 59. So we don't particularly need to bother with those two lines there. We can forget them. Okay? So what we've done there, we've found what's called the midpoint. The middle, the median number of photographs ordered. Yeah? So the second thing we do then, we then take this number here, this 4.5, and we multiply it by the 30. Okay? So 4.5 times by 30, that's the first sum that we do. Okay? 4.5 times 30, which is going to give us, where's my machine?
130.
4.5 times 30, it's going to give us 135. Okay? 135. We drop down a line. We've got 14.5 now. We're going to times that by 10, which is 145. Okay? We drop down to the next line, and the next line, the average number, or sorry, the median number, the middle number, the midpoint is 24.5. We're going to multiply that by 8. So we've got 24.5 multiplied by 8, which is going to give us 196. And finally, we've got 34.5. We're going to times that by 2, which brings us back to the 69. Again, we don't need those bottom two because no customers ordered any pictures. The next step is to add this last column up here, is to add that column there. Okay, so we're going to add 135 plus 145 plus 196 plus 69 equals 545. So between them all, them customers ordered 545 pictures. What we now need to do is add up the number of customers that came into the shop. 30, 40, 48, 50. 50 customers came into the shop. 50 customers. we take the 545 and we divide it by the 50 customers. So on average, the median number of pictures, sorry, the average number of pictures, the mean number of pictures by those customers was 10.9. Okay? 10.9. You could round up to 11. Okay? Does that make sense? Yeah? There's quite a lot of information going on there. It's quite a complicated.
So is that the mean?
That's the mean. It's quite a complicated thing to remember when you see it in that kind of question. It looks a bit of a mess on there, to be perfectly honest. So in a question, in an actual question, what you would get, you might just get 2 columns like this. Okay? Photographs, number of customers. Or you could get two blank ones at the end. Yeah? If you don't get the 2 blank ones at the end, you draw them on, okay, because it would help, like this one, okay, like this particular question here. There's the sum, there's the question, but we've got 2 extra columns here, 2 blank columns, okay, 2 blank columns. So, what you're going to do with these 2 blank columns, in this blank column here, you're going to write midpoint, okay? You're going to write midpoint in that column there. And then what you're going to do in this column here, you're going to write total, okay? Midpoint and total. Now I think we might have this in the workbook somewhere. Let me see, we've got this question in the workbook. I think we've got the same question. Yes, we have there. It's on page 12, at the top of page 12. Yeah? At the top of page 12. So what I want you to do is write, when you find it, I want you to write midpoint in here. And then I want you to write total in this one. Okay? Midpoint in that and total in that. Okay? What I want you to do now is to work out the midpoint of each of these numbers. And when you've worked it out, you put it in that box there. So I'll do the first one for you on the board here. So I'm just going to get my pen. So we've said that this is going to say midpoint. So I'm going to work out the midpoint of that. So it's 1 plus 5 equals 6, divided by 2 is 3. So that's 1 plus 5 equals 6, divided by 2 equals 3. Do the rest. Do the other 4 midpoints. So 6 plus 10. So follow along and you work yours out at the same time. Time for me to type in here. 8. Okay, so we're getting the midpoint. Alright, so we'll keep doing all 4. Do all 4 midpoints. 11 plus 15 divided by 2, and then 16 plus 20 divided by 2. Write all the midpoints down here. So we've got 11 plus 15, 26, divided by 2, 13. Yeah, 13. Do you agree?
2. Ignore the 12. Don't look at the frequency bit.
Yeah, don't ignore column B for a second. All we're doing working at the column A. 16 plus 20 is 36, divided by 2 is... What's 36 divided by 2?
18.
18. There you go. I was waiting for an answer. 18. So we've found the midpoints. Okay, we've found the midpoints using column A. Alright, using column A. I've given these columns. A, B, C and D, just to kind of help you to along here. So we found the midpoint by using column A. These numbers now, we don't need them anymore. So if you want to, you could just cross them out. They've now gone. Okay? We're not interested in that column anymore because we've used those numbers. We've used those numbers. So let's make a little note on here if you need to make a little note. Let's just put a little note on here. So, first step. Find the midpoint of all the numbers in column A. Right answers in column C. Okay, there they are in column C. The second thing we do now, okay, we now multiply column B and column C. Okay, 2 times 3, 12 times 8, 9 times 13, 3 times 18. And put the answer in column D. Okay, so I'll write that down. Multiply column B and C. Write the answer in column D. Okay, so I'm trying to make it so you can kind of write this down so you can suss it out in when you look at it back. So we've got 2 times 3, 6. We've got 12 times 8,
96.
we've got 9 times 13,
117.
117,
Yeah.
and we've got 3 times 18.
54.
Boom, there we go. Yeah, there we go. What we can now do, step 3. Remember maths are about making the sum smaller. We don't need column C anymore. Let's get rid of it. We've used it. So now you can delete column C. Okay, delete column C. So the fourth thing we need to do now, the next step in the system, is we add up the totals of column D. Okay, so we add up the totals of column D. Alrighty? So let's do that. Let's do that. So we're making the sum. We're just using 2 columns all the time if we possibly can, rather than having 4 columns because it looks confusing. So we've got 6 plus 96 plus 117 plus 54 equals. So we get 273. Do we get that?
Yeah.
There it is, 273. The next thing we do, number 5, we add up the frequency, column B. Yeah? Add up the frequency, which in this case is column B. Okay? Now then, what you will find with this is that the frequency, or column B, is given to you in the actual question. Yeah, it's actually given to you in the question. So it's 26. Yeah, it's 26. Let's pop it on there, 26. And we notice that it's also there in the top of the question. Yeah? The last thing we need to do now, the 6th step, is we divide total of column D by the total of column B. And that's the answer. 273 divided by 26, and it should give us our answer, which is going to be 10.5. So why sells cars? The table shows information about the number of cars he's sold each week for the last 26 weeks. He estimates that he sold an average, a mean average of 10. Is the estimate correct? Yeah, he sold 10.5. 10 and a half cars a week. Every something half a car a week, I'm not sure. But he sold 10 and a half cars a week. So that is how you work these out. Okay? They're pretty tricky to remember, that sequence of events. Yeah? But if you can kind of, by using this kind of like wordy instructions, if you will, it's kind of like following a set of instructions, you know, like when you get IKEA and you've got a set of drawers you've got to put together. It's the same kind of thing. Follow the instructions, memorise them, yeah? And think to yourself, if you're only given a question, you've only got 2 columns, just these 2 columns for example, draw 2 more. Make it into 4. Make it into 4 columns, because that makes it easier for you to work out, because then you've got column A, column B, column C what you've drawn, column D what you've drawn, and then you can follow these instructions. The tricky part is, and a lot of people fall into this trap, they think because there's 4 lines, they divide it by 4. That's not how it works. This is what you divide it by at the end, the frequency. Yeah? Sometimes it's called frequency, sometimes it might be relating to customers, days, something like that. Find the midpoint. Put the midpoint in column C. Once you've done that, you can forget that column. Get rid of it. Cross it out. Yeah? Multiply the frequency by the midpoint and put that answer in D. Once you've done that, you can forget that, because you've used those numbers. Times that by that, that by that, that by that, that by that. Add those up, divide that number by that number, you get the answer.
How many marks would that be?
That would probably be 3, possibly 4. Yeah? They're not massive scorers, these, unfortunately. They're not giant scorers. Yeah? Which is a bit sad, really, because you do quite a lot of work. You do quite a lot of work. But does that make sense, how you can, by just following that ABCD kind of rule? Yeah? When you've got the full 4 blocks filled in, it does look a lot. So that's why I recommend that you cross that one out. Once you've used it, cross it out. Then you've only got 3 blocks to contend with. Once you've used that block, cross it out, you've only got 2 blocks to contend with. Makes it a bit easier. Does make it a bit easier. Let's have a look at this question. Look at the information about 5 houses below. What is the mean number of litres of water used per day per person? What is the mean number of cubic metres used per year per household? On average, how many litres per person are used per year? Flipping it, that's a mouthful, isn't it? So let's break it down. It's obviously in 3 parts. The mean number of litres used per day per person. Litres used per day. So let's add all those bottom numbers up together. Let's add the bottom numbers up together. If you can't see them, I'll read them out to you. 149, 276, 367, 450, 523. Yeah? Let's count the people. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15.
I was going to divide by 5 then.
Yeah,
I went
I was
1, 2,
gonna
3,
do.
4, 5.
So,
Right.
what's that? What have we got? for that question. What have we got for an answer there? I've got an answer on the screen. I'm not.
117.6.
Oh, yeah. 117.66. Yeah, perfect. Next question says, what is the mean number of cubic meters used per year per household?
Oh, that's like
5.
This is where your 5 comes in because there are 5 houses, yeah? So I'll read the numbers out again in case you can't see them from the back. 54, 101, 134, 164, 191. I'm not sure what that one's going to be. We'll get an answer in a second. Any answers? So we added all them numbers together. What did we come up with? Quite a big number, I'm guessing.
644.
Divided by 5?
128.8.
128.8. So we added those numbers up because we were concerned with the households, cubic metres per year. So we're just concerned with the 5 households there. We added those 5 figures together, we divided it by 5 because we just took the average of 5 households, yeah? The next question says, on average, how many litres per person are used per year? How would we work that one out? Would we add all these together and then divide it by 15? Because that's per year. Yeah? So what did we get for those added together?
644.
644. Divide by 15, because 15 people there.
42.53.
42. Yeah? 42.
Would you leave it as that or round up?
Yeah, you could round that up to 42,946 litres. Yeah, of course you could. Of course you could. Yeah. Wow, that's a lot, isn't it? Yeah, that's a lot.
Hang on, what did you do again to get that?
Or,
Sorry.
that's not that times by 15, is it? Can't be, can it? Can't be, because that's per day. Oh, times by 365 maybe. Is it?
That's what I was going to do. I'm going to do
Yeah.
the bottom time back.
Let's try that. Let's do 117. Whoop. 117. Multiply, 0.66, sorry. Multiply by 365 days a year. Yeah. So it's basically, it's that times by 365. Because we found out the mean number of litres per day, per person was this. The mean number of person per year, so we just times that by 365. We don't have to do any kind of adding up and subtracting for that. Yeah, it's the wrong thing to do. Yeah, it was the wrong thing to do. We've already got the answer to the part of the question there. We just multiply it by 365, 365 days in the year. So that's a typical style of question you could get. Yeah, a typical style of question. And what you've got to do is relate the pictures to the questions. Water used per day, per person, there are 15 people. Cubic metres per year, per household. How many litres per person, we've already worked that out, per year. Well, we worked it out for the day, so we just times it by 365. Yeah? Times it by 365. And that's how you work that kind of style of question out. Fairly easy, aren't they? These fairly straightforward to do. Yeah? What about if you've got to work the mean out in reverse? These 4 celebrities were asked to take a survey about the number of friends that they had. The average number of friends they had was 14. Okay? He's got 16 friends, David Beckham. Piers has got 3 friends. Amanda has got 17 friends. How many friends has Jennifer got? Okay. How would we work this out? Now normally, we'd add all the friends up and divide it by 4, wouldn't we? To find an average.
Yeah.
But in this instance, we can't. Okay? We can't do that. So how do we work it out? How would we work that particular question out? Well, we do the sum in reverse. Now we know that the average number of friends is 14. That's the average number of friends. How do we find the average out? We take a number and we divide it. So we take up the number that all those friends have and we would divide it by 4. Do you agree? Yeah? So if they had said 600 friends between them, we'd say 600 divided by 4. That's what we would normally do. So let's do that in reverse. So instead of doing a division, let's do the opposite, which is a multiplication. So let's take the 14, which is the average, and let's times it by 4. What do we get for that?
56.
56. So if we've got 56 now, we know that he's got 16 friends, so let's take that off. 40. Do you agree? We know that he's got 3 friends, so let's take that off. Drops it to 37. We know she's got 17 friends. Let's take that off. Drops it to 20. So Jennifer must have 20 friends. Yeah. If we add all them up now and divide by 4, we get 14. So we've just done the sum in reverse. We've started with the answer and we've worked backwards. We've times that 14 by 4, we've got 56 and we worked it out using a bit of subtraction at the end. Just done the sum backwards. Just done the sum backwards. Does that make sense? Does that make sense? So, this, not very common. Those tables, those, extremely common. Yeah? You said you've seen some in the actual practice exam. Yeah? In the practice exam. And again, it will depend upon the style of the question. If you've only got 2 tables, please feel free to make it into 4. It makes it so much easier. Yeah? And then follow that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 steps, column A, B, C, D. Right column A, B, C, D across the tops of them. Yeah, this will help it make it easier for you to work these particular questions out. Okay? So far, so good?